Welcome to the Full Nielsen. Today I'm going to be talking to you about kids triggers for the 1022 versus Volquartsen's TG2000 trigger. If you want the summarized version by kid triggers, they are far superior. For the longer version, I'm going to go into why that is, and I'm going to talk to you about the difference between the single stage and two-stage trigger in the kids and what I would recommend depending on your application. The main reason why the kid triggers are superior is you have the ability to achieve a much lighter pull weight with the kid triggers, and the feel of the kid triggers is far superior. Most Ruger 1022 triggers I felt have a lot of mushiness to them, or almost like a rolling brake is the way I would describe it, instead of a nice, crisp, clean brake. And Kid is the only company that I have found that has managed to achieve that level of crispness in their triggers, and that includes this TG2000. So this right here is the Volquartsen trigger, and you can see it has a bit of take-up, and I know you can probably adjust a bunch of that out. That's not my main concern. I'm not worried about the take-up. This kid trigger has some take-up, as you can see. In fact, quite a lot of pre-travel. And people get hung up on pre-travel, and oh my goodness, there's so much pre-travel. Pre-travel does not matter. People that talk about that do not know how to run a trigger. When you are pulling a trigger, you pull to the wall till that trigger stops, and then you pull the trigger, and when you let the trigger go forward, you usually just let it go to wherever the reset is. So I don't worry about that. But anyway, the main difference is trigger feel and pull weight that I mentioned. So let me tell you about the pull weight. The pull weight that you can achieve out of this Volquartsen trigger is 2.25 pounds is the lowest you can get pull weight wise. The lowest you can get out of this Kid two-stage trigger is 3 ounces and 3 ounces. So a 6 ounce total trigger pull, 3 ounce first stage, 3 ounce second stage. I know what most of you are thinking. You're thinking, holy Toledo, that is way too light of a trigger. And to all the people that are thinking that, I would say to you, you've never tried it, or probably have never tried it. And if you had, on a rimfire gun in particular, that you're trying to achieve the best possible groups with, at whatever the distance is, that lightweight trigger makes a huge difference. So I actually had mine adjusted, I believe, at 8 ounces and 8 ounces from the factory, so a pound, because I thought 3 ounces and 3 ounces was too little. And I was mistaken. I adjusted mine to 3 ounces and 3 ounces, or 4 ounces, 4 ounces, somewhere in that neighborhood, to where it was between a 6 and 8 ounce trigger. And I much prefer it that way. If you were to buy this trigger and you had it set at 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds, I think you'll come away thinking, wow, how is that anywhere near worth the money? When you feel how good of a trigger it is when it's adjusted that light, then you'll understand, then you'll get it. It's basically you just gently, press until you hit that wall, and then you basically think about when you're ready to send the rifle, and the round goes where you want it to go. It's an amazing thing when you have a trigger that's tuned as well as what these are capable of. So pull weight, big difference between the Volquartsen and this. Now, the Kid also offers a single stage trigger, and the lightest pull weight, I believe that they will set that for you at the factory from, is about 1.5 pounds, which is what I have this one set for. I went as light as they would let me go with that trigger on this particular gun, and I like it as well. Between the two triggers, I prefer the two-stage over the single stage, but it does depend on the type of shooting you're going to be doing. If I'm shooting precision groups at a bench, two-stage is the way to go. If I'm out squirrel hunting or something in the woods, I would probably prefer the single stage shooting freehand personally. But anyway, so trigger feel, these break crisp. My main issue with the trigger feel as it pertains to the Volquartsen is that it almost feels like it has kind of a rolling brake. When the trigger breaks, for those of you that have used a really high-end or any Trigger Tech trigger, all of the Trigger Tech triggers feel this way. They literally break like a glass rod. Some triggers break more like, Geisley describes different trigger pull brakes as like a carrot, almost like a spongy brake or a rolling brake. The Volquartsen feels more that way, especially when you compare it to these kid triggers. Anyway, so for any of you out there that are shopping for these and you're wondering, is it worth the extra money to go with the kid or whatever? In my opinion, it is absolutely worth it. They are the best thing that you can put in a 1022. Anything else I have tried doesn't even begin to compare. But specifically the Volquartsen, I like the kid trigger so much better that I will be selling this trigger and buying another kid trigger. It's worth the $100, $75, whatever the price difference is, it's worth it to me. Anyway, so that concludes my comments or my comparison between these two triggers. If you guys have any triggers out there that you really like and you would like to share what they are and why it is that you like them with the community, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. If you found this video at all informative or helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. That helps us produce more content like this in the future. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.